Hello friends, heartily welcome to this new video. This is the third video based on introduction to analytical chemistry. In this video, we will study the one more important aspect, that is stoichiometry. Let us first see the definition of stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is a process of making calculations based on formulae and balanced chemical equations. Now try to understand what is the meaning of stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is a process of making calculations based on chemical formulae and balanced chemical equations. पहा, स्टॉइचियोमेट्रीमध्ये आपण काही केमिकल कॅल्क्युलेशन्स पाहणार आहोत. जी कॅल्क्युलेशन्स करत असताना आपल्याला केमिकल फॉर्म्युलीज आणि बॅलन्स्ड केमिकल इक्वेशनची मदत घ्यायची आहे. म्हणून फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सी what are the chemical formulae or formulae. In a chemical equation, chemical symbols are used to represent reactants and products, are called formulae of reactants and products. See, while writing a chemical reaction, we will use the chemical formulas in order to represent, or we will use chemical symbols in order to represent the reactants and products. So in a chemical equation, chemical symbols are used to represent reactants and products, are called formulae of reactants and products. For example, symbol of hydrogen is H. We know that hydrogen element is represented with the help of symbol H. It exists in gaseous state as a diatomic molecule. Therefore, chemical formula of hydrogen molecule is H2. See here. So hydrogen molecule is represented with the help of the formula H2. So this is the hydrogen atom. H molecule is represented like this. Its gaseous state is indicated by the suffix like this G and written completely as H2 gaseous. See here. So we know that at room temperature hydrogen is in gaseous state, and that's why this gaseous state is represented by using a suffix, that is a G, small g, or such type of English letter G is used to represent the gaseous state of this hydrogen. So that is what hydrogen followed by this letter G, this is called as the suffix. Similarly, other gases are represented as oxygen O2 gaseous, nitrogen N2 gaseous, fluorine F2 gaseous, like this. At room temperature, bromine exists in liquid state, and hence bromine in liquid state represented as Br2 liquid, while iodine exists in solid state and hence represented as I2 solid. So in this way, small g, small l, small s is used. These letters are used to represent gaseous state, liquid state, solid state respectively, like that. So in this way, such type of the formulas or the atomic symbols are used to represent the reactants and products while writing the chemical equations for the chemical reactions. Then See, balanced chemical equations. So according to the definition of stoichiometry, it is a process of making the calculations by using the chemical formulae and balanced chemical equations. So we have seen what is the meaning of chemical formulae. After this, try to understand what is meant by a balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation is symbolic representation of chemical reaction. See here, balanced chemical equation means what? So it is a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction. So a chemical reaction is represented with the help of the symbols of the atoms or symbols of the elements are used to represent a balanced chemical equation. For example, let us say, consider the combustion of reaction of methane. So we know that combustion means the burning. So burning reaction of methane or burning of methane with oxygen. So what you have to remember? Combustion means that is the reaction with oxygen. Whenever we are going to carry out the combustion of any substance, so it is react with oxygen or it is treated with oxygen or burns with oxygen. See the combustion of methane. Methane plus oxygen and carbon dioxide and water are the always the products of the combustion reaction. So remember this. What is that? Combustion reaction means what? That is the reaction of that particular substance with oxygen. And what are the products of combustion? Carbon dioxide and water are the products of combustion. The chemical equation is written in terms of chemical formulae of each substance. So how a chemical reaction is written? So by using the chemical formulas or the chemical equation is written like this here. So methane, we know that the formula for methane is CH4 gaseous, O2 gaseous plus O2 gaseous gives what? CO2 gaseous plus H2 gaseous. So this is a chemical equation in order to represent the combustion reaction of the methane. Now see, to balance the number of atoms of reactant side and product side, proper whole number coefficients are selected for each reactant and product. See, what is the next step? How to write the balanced chemical equations. While writing such type of the chemical equation with the help of the chemical formulas, so second aspect is that, so we have to balance the number of atoms of the reactant side and number of atoms of the product side. So we know that according to the law of conservation of mass, in this case, Paha, number of atoms which are present in the reactant side must be equal to the number of atoms which are present in the product side. And that's why आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे आता पहा, how to balance this equation. So for that, look at this. So in the reactant side, see here, so one carbon atom is there, and at the product side again there is only one carbon atom. So the carbon atoms are balanced. Then see hydrogen. In this case, there are total 4 hydrogen atoms are present at the reactant side. So here there are only 2 hydrogen atoms, and that's why we have to take here 2, number 2. So that is written here. Look at this, how the balancing can be done. Then see oxygen atoms as a result of that. So total oxygen atoms here, these 2 O means 2 oxygen atoms. Here are again 2 oxygen atoms, total 4. And that's why in this case here at the reactant side, there are only one molecule or 2 atoms of oxygen. So we have to take here coefficient 2. पहा, आपल्याला या ठिकाणी हा सहगुणक 2 इथे आपण घेतलेला आहे. कशाकरिता? तर आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, रिएक्टंट साइड आणि प्रोडक्ट साइड्स चे अणू जे आहेत, ॲटम्स जे आहेत, त्यांची संख्या सारखी करायची, बॅलन्स करायची. आणि म्हणून नाउ सी दिस इज द balanced chemical equation. See here, CH4 gaseous reacts with 2 O2 gaseous, so as to produce CO2 gaseous plus 2 H2O gaseous. Now this is the balanced equation. Now see, so these numbers here, so there is no need to write here the 1. The meaning of this what? See here. So CH4 means what? There is कोइफिशियंट ओनली वन कोइफिशियंट इज देअर. पहा, याचा सहगुणक 1 आहे असा याचा अर्थ होतो आणि आपण हा 1 लिहित नाही. आता हे तुमच्या अंडरस्टँडिंगसाठी मी इथे लिहिलेलं आहे. पहा, याचा सहगुणक जसा 2 आहे, याचा सहगुणक इथे पहा, इथे आपण 1 इथे मी दाखवलेला आहे. जरी आपण इथे लिहित नसू तर याचा अर्थ असा होतो की इथे एक सहगुणक किंवा कोइफिशियंट आहे, हे आपण लक्षात घेतलं पाहिजे व्हाईल बॅलन्सिंग द केमिकल इक्वेशन. दिस इज द बॅलन्स्ड केमिकल इक्वेशन. आता ही बॅलन्स्ड केमिकल इक्वेशन आहे. पहा, द नंबर्स, दिस 1 2 1, दिस 2, so these numbers are coefficients representing the number of moles of CH4 gaseous, O2 gaseous, CO2 gaseous and H2 gaseous respectively are called stoichiometric coefficients. पहा, हे जे नंबर्स आहेत या ठिकाणी, आता याला आपण काय म्हणतो? सहगुणक, किंवा याला म्हणायचं स्टॉइचोमेट्रिक कोइफिशियंट्स. हे काय इंडिकेट करतात? दे इंडिकेट्स द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स. पहा, इथे 1 लिहिलंय मी, तर आपण नेहमी करता लक्षात ठेवायचं, इथे लिहिलेलं असो नसो, नसेल तेव्हा याचा अर्थ काय होतो? 1 मोल ऑफ CH4 गॅसियस, 2 moles of O2 gaseous, 1 mole of CO2 gaseous, 2 moles of H2 gaseous. See here. So that is what. So these are called as the stoichiometric coefficients. So in this way, we can write a balanced chemical equation. So in this way, formulae and balanced chemical equations are used in order to represent a particular chemical reaction, and then the process of making the calculations by using the formulae and balanced chemical equations is called, so that is what? See, stoichiometry. Yes, understand? See, the characteristics or the properties of balanced chemical equation. So a balanced chemical equation represents what? See the characteristics or the properties. It indicates the number of moles of the reactants involved in a chemical reaction and number of moles of products formed. See here, in this example, see here, a balanced chemical equation represents what? So this is the one of the important property, that is how many number of moles of reactants and products are involved in the chemical reactions. Here 1 2 1 and 2 in this. So these coefficients represents what? How many number of moles of that particular reactants and products involved. It indicates the relative masses of the reactants and products formed in a chemical reaction. Another important thing, another important property, the balanced chemical equation also represents the masses of the reactants and products. How? See here, from above chemical equation, it is observed that 1 mole of CH4 gaseous. See here, 1 mole of CH4 gaseous means what? We know that 1 mole, that corresponds to the atomic mass in grams. See here. So in this case, 1 mole of methane means what? Carbon. Atomic mass of carbon is 12. We know. Atomic mass of one hydrogen atom is 1. Total 4 hydrogen atoms. This is 4. 12 plus 4, 16. So in this way, 1 mole of methane gas means how many? So it corresponds to what? 16 grams. Understand? 16 grams. So similarly here, 2 moles of O2 means what? 2 moles of O2 means what? The atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So here total 4 atoms of oxygen. So 16 into 4, 64 grams. So these 2 moles corresponds to 64 grams here. And 1 mole of CO2, we know that molar mass of the CO2, 44 grams. With 2 moles of H2O again, that is 36 grams. So in this way, see here, a balanced chemical equation not only represents the number of moles involved, but also it represents what? That is the masses, relative masses of the reactants and products formed in a chemical reaction. So this is the one more important property. Then see, it indicates the relationship between the volumes of gaseous reactants and products at STP. Furthermore, a balanced chemical equation represents what? That is also represent the relationship between the volumes of the gaseous reactants and products at the STP. So how we know that 1 mole of substance at STP again occupies how much volume? 22.4 decimeters cube. So therefore, in our example, 1 mole of CH4 gaseous represents what? 22.4 decimeters cube. So at STP, right? Standard temperature pressure condition. Then 2 moles of O2 means what? 2 into 22.4 decimeters cube. That is 44.8 decimeters cube. Similarly, 1 mole of CO2 again corresponds to this, 2 moles of H2O corresponds to this. So that is not, we know that that is molar volume of the any substance at STP is equal to 22.4 liters. So these are the characteristics of balanced chemical equation. Then see the stoichiometric problems. See here. So steps involved in problems based on stoichiometric calculations. See here, simple steps are there. How to solve the problems which are based uh, with the help of the stoichiometry. See, or how to solve the stoichiometric problems. Write down the balanced chemical equation representing the chemical reaction. So now we have to remember what? We have to write all times the correct balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation. So while solving the stoichiometric problems, first of all we have to write the balanced chemical equation in order to represent the particular chemical reaction. Write the number of moles and the relative masses or volumes of the reactants and products below the respective formulae. So what is that? We have to write the number of moles involved and the relative masses, that is moles are represented in the form of coefficients and the masses are written below the symbols of the reactants and products. Okay. Relative masses or volumes should be calculated from the respective formula mass referring to the conditions of STP. So we know that the formula mass. So from the formula mass we can calculate the relative masses or volumes of that given formula masses at the STP. Then apply the unitary method to calculate the unknown factors as required by the formula. So we can solve the numericals by any method, but what we have to take the precaution? So we have to use the unique method at a time. Throughout the numerical problem, we have to use the unitary methods for the calculation, that is the similar methods while solving the numericals. So then we will see how to solve the numericals. See, first numerical, simple numericals are there. See here, calculate the mass of carbon dioxide and water formed on complete combustion of 24 grams of methane gas. The atomic masses of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are given. So first of all, read the numerical very carefully. So what is that? Calculate the mass of carbon dioxide and water formed in complete combustion of 24 grams of methane gas. पहा आपल्याला काय विचारलंय त्यांनी, 24 ग्राम ऑफ मिथेन गॅसचं कंबशन होत असताना किती कार्बन डायऑक्साईडचं वस्तुमान आणि किती वॉटरचं वस्तुमान तयार होईल त्या ठिकाणी. हाऊ टू सॉल्व दिस न्यूमेरिकल? द ॲटॉमिक मासेस आर गिवन. हियर first of all, write the balanced chemical equation, the required equation for the combustion of methane we have just seen. So we have to write this equation. What is that? CH4 gaseous burns with, reacts with oxygen gaseous, gives carbon dioxide and water. Then balance. How to balance we have seen just. So by balancing we can write the balanced chemical equation. Then the masses are written below the formulas, chemical formulas. Here, see here. Carbon 12, hydrogen 4. Is it right? total 4 atoms. We know that the mass of one hydrogen atom is 1. So total mass of methane gas is 16 gram. Similarly, here, now you can easily understand 2 O2 gaseous. 2 into 16 into 2, 64. Is it right? Similarly, CO2 and here water. So these are the masses. Then, now see how to solve this numerical logically here. So from this balanced chemical equation, try to understand what it represents. 16 grams of methane. Look at this. 16 grams of methane on complete combustion will produce 44 grams of carbon dioxide and 36 grams of water. So take this. What is that now? See. So 16 grams of methane on complete combustion will produce 44 grams of CO2. 24 grams of methane corresponds to what? So with the help of simple cross multiplication we will solve this here. 24 into 44 divided by 16 cross multiplication. So it gives 66 grams of CO2. So how much grams of CO2 is formed from combustion of 24 grams of methane? By taking the help of this equation, we will find out this. Similarly, 16 grams of methane will produce 36 grams of water. 24 grams produce how many grams of water? Cross multiplication again 24 into 36 divided by 16 gives 54 grams. So in this way, we can easily solve this numerical. See one more. How much calcium oxide will be produced by decomposition of 5 grams of calcium carbonate? See, what is that? What we have to calculate? How much CaO, calcium oxide, will formed by the decomposition of 5 grams of calcium carbonate. So first of all, write down the equation. Calcium carbonate decomposes according to the balanced equation. So one should be able to write this equation, balanced chemical equation for what? Decomposition of calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate when heated, see here, it decomposes into calcium oxide with evolution of carbon dioxide gas. See here. Now see the masses. Calcium atomic mass is 40. Carbon we know 12. Oxygen 16. Total 3 atoms 3 to 16. Total 100 parts of calcium carbonate. When decomposed to produce here 56 parts of calcium oxide and 44 parts of carbon dioxide. What we have to calculate? When 5 grams of calcium carbonate decomposes, how many calcium oxide is produced? Again the cross multiplication. Therefore, see here. So 100 parts of calcium carbonate produces 56 grams of CaO. Therefore 5 grams of calcium carbonate will produce how much? Simple cross multiplication again. 56 into 5 upon 100. So 2.8 grams of CaCO3. So in this way we can easily solve the numericals based on this. One more terminology or term, in this case, limiting reagent. So try to understand what is the meaning of the limiting reagent. For a given chemical reaction, the amount of reactants required or products formed are based on stoichiometric coefficients of the products and reactants of balanced chemical equations. See here, in a particular chemical reaction, the amount of reactants required or the amount of products formed. So this is based on what? The stoichiometric coefficients of the products. त्या ठिकाणी कुठले सहगुणक आहेत त्याच्यावरती अवलंबून आहे. आणि म्हणून पहा, generally as a cost saving measure, the cheaper reactant is taken in excess and costlier reactant are used in lesser amount. काय करतो आपण पहा, एखादी केमिकल रिएक्शन घडून आणत असताना है, जो रिएक्टंट स्वस्तामध्ये उपलब्ध असतो, ज्याची किंमत कमी असते है ना, आणि दुसरा रिएक्टंट ज्याची किंमत कॉस्ट ज्याची जास्त असते, तर आपण कमी किंमत असलेला रिएक्टंट जास्तीत जास्त वापरतो आणि ज्याची किंमत जास्त आहे, कॉस्टलियर रिएक्टंट जो आहे, पहा कॉस्टलियर रिएक्टंट जो आहे तो आपण कमी घेतो आणि जो स्वस्तात चीपर आहे ते आपण एक्सेस मध्ये घेतो, लाईक दिस. See here, generally as a cost saving measure, the cheaper reactant is taken in excess and costlier reactant are used in lesser amount. The reactant that is taken in lesser amount get consumed earlier and reaction stops. पहा, मग आता ज्याची कॉस्ट जास्त आहे तो आपण कमी घेतो, जो इझिली अवेलेबल आहे तो जास्त घेतो, आणि म्हणून ज्याची मात्रा आपण कमी घेतलेली आहे ज्या रिॲक्टंटची, तो एकदा का कंझ्युम झाला, युटिलाइज झाला की काय होतं, इट स्टॉप्स द फर्दर प्रोग्रेस ऑफ द रिॲक्शन. रिॲक्शन स्टॉप होते, आणि म्हणून पहा, लक्ष द्या इथे, द रिॲक्टंट विच गेट्स कंझ्युम्ड and limits the amount of product formed and is therefore called the limiting reagent. पाहता, लिमिटिंग रेजंट किंवा लिमिटिंग रिॲक्टंट कशाला म्हणतात? द रिॲक्टंट विच इज गेट कंझ्युम्ड अर्लियर and which stops the further progress of the reaction. It means that what? The reactant which gets consumed limits the amount of product formed and is therefore called the limiting reagent. पहा, जो रिॲक्टंट, जो रेजंट काय होतं, कमी मात्रा घेतलेली असते म्हणून तो लवकर युटिलाइज होतो, अगोदर युटिलाइज होतो आणि संपतो. त्याचा परिणाम असा होतो की फर्दर प्रोग्रेस ऑफ द रिॲक्शन जो आहे तो स्टॉप होतो किंवा प्रोडक्ट तयार होणं बंद होतं. याला लिमिटिंग रेजंट म्हणतात. पहा, सियर, let us try to understand with the help of this example. So in the above reaction, in the combustion reaction of methane, we know that oxygen is easily available in the air, and that's why here in this reaction methane is the limiting reagent, because other reactant is oxygen of the air which is always present in the excess. आता इथे पहा, तुमच्या लक्षात येईल, हा मिथेन गॅस हा लिमिटिंग रेजंट आहे. ऑक्सिजन कितीही उपलब्ध आहे आपल्याला आहे, परंतु आता हा मिथेन गॅस संपला की एअर मध्ये जे ऑक्सिजन आहे, ऑक्सिजन तो मुबलक प्रमाणात आहे. तर मिथेन संपला की काय होतं, ही रिॲक्शन स्टॉप होते. याला लिमिटिंग रेजंट असं म्हणतात. व्हॉट इज दॅट? द रिॲक्टंट which gets consumed earlier and limits the amount of product formed or the progress of the reaction. Therefore, it is called as the limiting reagent. See one more example. Consider the formation of nitrogen dioxide. See here, from the nitric oxide and oxygen. See the reaction. Formation of what? Nitrogen dioxide. The reaction between nitric oxide and oxygen. पहा, आता या रिॲक्शन मध्ये आपण जर पाहिलं तर परत which one is the limiting? So in this case oxygen is again available in excess, that is in the air. NO is the limiting reagent. Limiting reagent and O2 is the excess. See here. So in order to understand how it is the limiting reagent, try to understand how it is limiting reagent. So this is explained well with the help of this example. Try to understand. Suppose initially we have 8 moles of NO and 7 moles of O2. काय केलं आपण? NO चे 8 मोल्स घेतले आपण, जास्तीचा घेतला NO, 8 मोल्स घेतले, आणि ऑक्सिजनचे 7च घेतले. पहा, 7 मोल्स ऑफ O2 असं गृहीत धरा. वन वे टू डिटरमाइन विच ऑफ द टू रिॲक्टंट इज द लिमिटिंग रेजंट. आता याच्यापैकी कोणता लिमिटिंग रेजंट आहे काढण्याची ही एक मेथड आहे. कशी बघा? लेट अस कॅल्क्युलेट द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ NO2 फॉर्म फ्रॉम द given initial quantities of the NO and O2. From the definition of limiting reagent, we will get smaller yield of the products. पाहत आहे, आता 8 मोल्स NO घेतला आणि 7 मोल्स O2 घेतला आहे. तर अकॉर्डिंग टू द डेफिनेशन लिमिटिंग रेजंट आपण कशाला म्हणतो? द रेजंट विच गेट consumed earlier and stops the further progress of the reaction or the amount of formation of the product. त्याला आपण लिमिटिंग रेजंट म्हणतो, जो अगोदर युटिलाइज होतो आणि संपून जातो. पहा, आता हे आपल्याला पहा कसं करता येईल. पहा, फ्रॉम द रिॲक्शन, लुक ॲट दिस रिॲक्शन. ह्या रिॲक्शन कडे पहा. फ्रॉम द रिॲक्शन इट इज ऑब्झर्व दॅट 2 moles of NO produces 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide, right? See, आपण 8 गृहीत धरलेत, मग 8 मोल्स ऑफ NO किती तयार करेल? क्रॉस मल्टिप्लिकेशन, 8 into 2 डिवायडेड बाय 2, 8 मोल्स. लक्षात येतं का तुमच्या? आपण 8 मोल्स घेतले NO चे NO चे 8 मोल्स घेतले. किती NO2 तयार केला 8 मोल्सनी? सॉरी 8 घेतला 8 मोल्स तयार झाले. ओके, 8 मोल घेतला आपण NO, तर NO2 किती तयार झाला? 8 मोल्स झाला NO2 तयार आहे. आपण पाहत आहोत इथे की याच इक्वेशनची मदत घेतलेली आपण. 8 मोल्स कसे तयार झाले पहा, क्रॉस मल्टिप्लिकेशन. 2 मोल NO, जर 2 मोल NO2 तयार करत असेल तर 8 मोल NO घेतला तर 8 मोल NO2 तयार करेल. दुसरी गोष्ट पहा, ॲट स्टार्टिंग विथ 7 मोल्स ऑफ O2 द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ NO2 फॉर्म. पहा इथे लक्ष द्या. एक O2 काय करतोय? 2 NO2 तयार करतोय. त्याचा यूज केला आहे फ्रॉम रिॲक्शन. 1 मोल ऑफ O2 gives 2 moles of NO2. then 7 moles गृहीत धरलेत आपण. ते किती मोल्स ऑफ NO2 देईल? क्रॉस मल्टिप्लिकेशन 7 into 2 divided by 1. सो दिस इज इक्वल टू 14 मोल्स ऑफ O2. पहा, O2 आपण कमी घेतलाय, पण तो किती मोल्स तयार करतोय पहा. सॉरी, पहा इथे टोटल O2 14 मोल्स ऑफ NO2 तयार करेल. 14 मोल्स ऑफ NO2 तयार करेल. ओके, सी हिअर. तर अशा पद्धतीनं 8 मोल NO घेतला, त्यांनी 8 मोल्स ऑफ NO2 तयार केले. आणि 7 मोलच O2 घेतला तर त्यांनी काय केले बा? 14 मोल्स ऑफ NO2 तयार केले. 14 मोल्स ऑफ NO2 तयार केलेत. याच्यावरून एक लक्षात येतं. सो विच वन इज द लिमिटिंग? विच वन इज द लिमिटिंग रिएजंट? सो दॅट इज हिअर द NO. कारण का? त्याची मात्रा तो युटिलाइज होते, अगोदर कंझ्युम होतो आणि फर्दर रिॲक्शन प्रोग्रेस जो आहे तो स्टॉप करतो, म्हणून त्याला लिमिटिंग रिएजंट म्हटलेलं आहे. तर अशा पद्धतीने एखाद्या रिॲक्शनमध्ये लिमिटिंग रिएजंट कुठला आहे हे सुद्धा आपल्याला कॅल्क्युलेट करता येतं. ओके, सो दिस इज दी वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टंट आस्पेक्ट फ्रॉम दिस टॉपिक, that is an introduction to the analytical chemistry. So what is that? Stoichiometry. That is the process of making the calculations based on the formulae and balanced chemical equations. So in this video, we have studied how to write a balanced chemical equation, then the properties of the balanced chemical equation and the steps involved to solve the numericals based on this. So that is called as the stoichiometry. So I think this is enough. So don't forget to like and subscribe in order to watch the incoming videos. So we stop here. Thanks.